Welcome to Extraordinary League, an actual play RPG podcast brought to you by Smash Fiction. I'm Dan Mulkerin, your game master. Playing the role of Stitch is Kit Mulkerin.
Miga na la cuista!
Playing...
You don't want to know the translation.
Nope, I'm speechless.
Uncomfortable silence
Yep.
and just laugh.
Yep.
I am fluent in many alien languages, and I cannot figure out what that one means.
Playing the role of Mordin Solus is Colin Mulkerin.
Had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong.
Playing the role of Dante Sparda is Liz Logan.
Woohoo! I'm ready for this party.
And playing the role of Sterling Archer is Miles Schneiderman.
Who is terrified that he isn't well read enough to do this character properly.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It happened quickly, but not all at once. Each of you began to notice strange flickers of movement out of the corner of your eyes, but didn't see anything when you turned to look. Occasionally, you might have opened a door, but the room beyond wasn't the room that should have been there. Only when you blinked, it was back to normal. Sometimes, when everything else was quiet, you might have heard the echoes of distant machinery, like a vast and terrible engine drawing slowly closer. Only for a moment, though. Until, of course, they came for you. They seemed to emerge out of nowhere, an oily spot forming in the air which disgorged one or two or three or more strange creatures, skeletal, with lower bodies like three-legged crabs or spiders, and elongated heads ending in eyeless faces and mouths stretched into a grotesque rictus grin.
Alien Russians.
Dante, you encountered these things during a brief moment of relaxation between jobs. You managed to get your hand on your sword and your guns, but before you could bring them to bear, they hit you with something that felt like an insect sting. Mordin, you were on your homeworld of Surkesh, working clandestinely to discover a safe way to reverse engineer the Krogan genophage, when these alien creatures appeared in your lab and struck with frightening speed. Stitch, you and Lilo were coming home from the beach, having appeased Pudge the fish with a peanut butter sandwich, when these frightening creatures emerged ahead of you. You told Lilo to run home quickly as you turned to face them, but by that point they were already upon you. Archer, you don't actually remember much. You were in your penthouse, maybe, or maybe in ISIS headquarters. Probably
Maybe Bermuda.
Probably in a supermodel's bedroom or something. The point is, you had a few martinis by this point, so the details escape you. But you're pretty sure you were doing something really awesome when these scary-looking guys appeared.
All right, fine, I'll come along, but we have to hit an ATM on the way because I am almost completely out of liquor.
In each case, the invaders struck you with some sort of injection device. A creeping numbness immediately spread through your body, rendering you first immobilized, then unconscious. You have no idea how long it's been since you were taken, but you do have some fragmented memories of what has occurred since then. You remember more of these creatures, many with variations in their shape, but clearly recognizable as being cut from the same unnatural cloth. You remember a place that smells like smoke and gasoline. Darkness, pain, the sensation of being watched and studied, violation. It's the longest, most terrifying nightmare you've ever experienced, and you want nothing more than to wake up from it. Then, suddenly, you do. With the sound of a distant boom fading from your ears, you open your eyes to find yourselves in tubes of glass and metal. You are floating in some sort of green liquid, which you seem to have no problem breathing. Beyond the glass of your tube, you can see a room filled with what are unmistakably stained dissection tables and nasty-looking medical instruments. The cold, artificial lights in the room are only now flickering back to life, and the beings beyond your tube seem to be struggling to keep their footing, as though they had just experienced an earthquake. The beings. You realize with a start that these are the same variety of creature that took you in the first place. Again, there's some variation in their appearance, but all have that combination of skeleton and arachnid properties. Something has clearly happened that they did not anticipate. For the first time in you don't know how long, you are awake and aware, and they don't seem to have noticed. What do you do?
Stitch immediately starts trying to bang on the glass and break out.
Okay, so you raise up your hand and begin to try to punch and claw your way out of the tube.
Instinctive destructiveness.
Okay, sure. Anyone else?
Mordin's probably going to play it cool a little bit, take some time to assess the room. What can I tell about the level of technology in the room, like how advanced these people are?
It's difficult to tell, largely because your vantage point is somewhat limited. The tools that they use seem efficient, but not particularly advanced. You know, you're not seeing any sort of like nanotechnology or evidence that they know how to create Mass Effect fields. Nothing of that nature. But you know, there are some electronic and computer devices in the room, suggesting at least, you know, maybe like space age or information age in terms of their level of development. But it's difficult to tell from where you are right now.
How many of them are there in the room?
There are 4 of them in the room.
Okay.
Dante, Archer, anything you guys want to do?
Dante is going to wonder if the green goo tastes good.
It does not.
Dante is going to get pissed.
Couldn't even put me in the tasty green goo.
Nope.
I vomit.
Okay.
And now you're floating in your own vomit.
Yep.
Is it better or worse tasting than the green goo?
It's kind of a lateral move. So basically, what I'm seeing is Mordin is sort of like half opening his eyes and trying to gauge the situation surreptitiously. Dante sticks his tongue out and immediately begins making a disgusted face. Archer vomits. And meanwhile, Stitch sort of swims over to the glass separating him from, you know, the inside of this lab and immediately begins pounding on it. You see there's this spider web of cracks that erupts on the surface of the glass, and after a few more hits from your tiny but muscular limbs, the glass tube shatters outward, sending you falling out in this gush of green liquid, and the creatures turn and, as best as their limited range of expressions are able, they appear to be rather surprised by your sudden entrance. What do you all do?
Are there any weapons? Are weapons around?
Not that you are seeing.
Are we all? Did everything get smashed or just Stitch?
No, each of you are in a separate tube. Stitch smashed out of his.
Yeah.
Stitch will growl at those strange aliens, yell at them in his own little alien tongue.
Okay.
And then just attack the nearest one.
Okay. Why don't we all go ahead and roll initiative then? Because that seems to be where it's going. For those of you who haven't done a game in the Marvel system for a bit, you roll a d10 and you add the tens digit of your intuition. So Stitch, what are we looking at?
9.
9 for Stitch. Mordin?
Why didn't you write down the numbers, Dad? It just says incredible. That's 40. Okay, plus 4.
It's 4.
Yeah, 9.
Sorry, I didn't realize you had to be held by the hand and walk through all this stuff.
Through this stupid archaic system that we're playing.
I thought we came to play. I thought we came to play Extraordinary League, sir.
Not Complainary League.
Dante.
Oh, I'm complaining. All right, it's just I've never had a hangover this bad before.
Dante.
4. He's really, really concerned about the bad tasting goo.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I also rolled a 4.
Also a 4. Who has the better intuition between Dante and Archer?
I've got excellent.
Yeah, mine's typical.
Okay.
So.
I guess I probably could have guessed the answer.
Yeah.
Mordin, you are up first. You don't have any of your weapons on you.
Do I have my Omni tool?
You do have your Omni tool. It looks like they might not have recognized that as a useful device.
For people who don't know, it's basically like a sort of computer thing integrated into my arm that gives me some weird little like technology powers and things like that. But none of my powers really help me out right now. So I'm going to lean up against the back of the tube and then sort of press against the glass with my feet.
Okay.
See if I can just like using my strength, just kind of crack it open.
Sure. Okay. Let's see how you do. Go ahead and roll your strength for me.
Okay. Strength is typical. Got a 70. That is green.
You can sort of hear the distorted sounds of the glass beginning to give as you press your heels into it. It'll probably give if you keep up this amount of pressure, but it's not giving right now.
Okay.
Stitch.
He's charging at the nearest guy.
Charging at the nearest guy. Let's see how you do.
With hopes on chewing on his head.
Okay.
Yellow.
Very good.
Definite head chew.
So, yep, Stitch basically turns himself into a miniature guided missile and leaps through the air, landing atop the heads of one of these creatures. And in a flurry of motion and chewing, the creature drops and stops moving. That one is down. Dante.
I'm going to try and break out of the glass.
Cool. Roll me your strength, assuming you are breaking out using your strength.
My Fists of Fury.
Your Fists of Fury. Go for it.
Dante is still concerned with the green goo.
Okay.
He just doesn't know what he's going to do about this and who he's going to punish for this horrible tasting green goo.
Am I to take that you did not roll exceptionally well?
Correct.
Okay, great. Really, really just concerned about the green goo. You realize that it might be getting in your hair. And when you have when you have white hair, it's like
it stains very easily.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Archer, what are you doing?
Oh god, this is the last time that I drank absinthe from Switzerland. I don't even know. I didn't even know those people know how to make absinthe, but I swear that was a strange shade of green. It's sort of similar to this. What the? How do it?
Is it bad that I was wondering if that was Archer or Miles? I wasn't sure if it was meta or not.
Did you think that Miles just like grabbed an Archer soundboard or something? Oh, you thought Miles himself was grabbed some Swiss absinthe. Miles is going real real method with this RPG.
Yes, he is.
All right, so Archer, what are you doing?
I will attempt to half-heartedly. I will attempt to escape.
Okay, cool. How are you going to do that?
Is there any sort of opening, or do I have to break the glass?
Go ahead and roll me some intuition.
Okay.
And you can get your bonus for perception.
Okay, well that's good. That'll help. So rolling here, and I got a that's not bad. 72 on good is a green result.
Okay. It actually looks like the top of the jar or canister or whatever you want to call it was screwed on, and you think you actually might be able to unscrew it from where you are.
I will do that.
Okay. You also notice, by the way, in terms of what equipment you have on you, they did not take your slightly darker black turtleneck.
Oh, thank God.
And also, you think you have your poison pen in your pocket.
All right, well, that's a mixed blessing.
Yeah, just be careful. The cap comes off for no reason.
So I've heard.
So Archer begins to unscrew the top of his canister. Stitch, the now 3 creatures, turn to you in astonishment and surprise, but they react fairly quickly. These guys have metal plates on their foreheads, and it looks as though their left arms have been replaced with some sort of cybernetic version. It looks like it contains multiple tools useful for surgery. So, they have saws and scalpels and vices and that sort of thing. And as you watch, each of their arms sort of flips to present some sort of bladed instrument, which they begin to run toward you, swinging, attempting to cut you open. So you have...
Oh my God, I fucking hate cyborgs.
Yeah, indeed. You have 3 attacks coming at you, Stitch.
All right.
Okay, Stitch, you turn into a veritable blur of blue fur as you begin leaping around this little dissection theater, narrowly avoiding the whirring blades of the saw and the whistling blades of the scalpels as these things try but fail to get a beat on you. So we are back to Mordin's turn.
What the hell is that thing? It's like a blue version of the killer rabbit from Monty Python.
All right, I keep pressing against the glass. I take a look at my Omni tool. Is there any tech in the room that I can interface with?
Yes, there is. There's actually a computer interface at the front of each of the canisters. You think you could probably wirelessly hack into those.
Sweet. Yeah, I might try to open all the tanks in the room.
Okay, that seems like a suitably Mordin thing to attempt to do. So go ahead and roll your reason, and you will get a bonus for technology.
Okay. Yellow.
So yeah, your Omni tool appears around your hand, glowing orange, and you quickly interface with the rather primitive machines, and they basically have no encryption or firewalls to speak of. It's child's play for you to shut them down. As you finish, the green liquid drains out of all of the tanks, and the tops pop open.
Sweet.
That applies to Archer and to Dante as well. Stitch.
I was about to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to say Archer, you just finished opening it when the other ones pop open.
That's right. World's most dangerous... Damn it!
Stitch, it is your turn.
He sees the nice shinies that the strange creatures have on their arm, and he's the only one who wants to rip one away.
Okay, you're going to tear one of their cybernetic arms off.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll me strength, and if you have wrestling, you'll get a bonus for that.
Green.
Okay, so Stitch, you sort of scramble up this dude's leg and perch yourself on his shoulder and just begin yanking at this arm. The creature, as best as it's able to, is sort of displaying the body language of panic at this point, and is just sort of trying to rip you off. He doesn't rip you off, but he has managed to distract you enough that you aren't able to get a sufficient grip on his arm to rip it off. Dante, it is your turn.
Am I out of the tube?
The tube is open, and you are no longer in the foul-tasting green liquid.
Okay, so first I'm gonna swipe my hand on the bottom of the drain and get some of that green goo on my hand. And then I'm just gonna run out and go to one of the cyborgs and just be like, "What kind of mystery punch is this? You don't serve this to guests. This is shit." And I'm just gonna shove my hand right up into his mouth.
Awesome. Roll me some fighting.
Oh, hell yeah. Yellow.
Oh, excellent. Let me roll his endurance save. No. Okay. You charge out screaming about the customer service in this joint. Your demon strength enhanced fist flies out, catches this guy squarely in the jaw, and lifts him off his feet, sending him with a crunch into the wall on the other side of the lab. He slumps motionless down to the floor. That is 2 of these guys down. 2 to go. And it is Archer's turn.
All right, look, somebody needs to tell me what is going on right after somebody fetches me some kind of bottle of scotch or something. I look around for a weapon.
I'm going to say that the first cyborg creature that Stitch took out is lying kind of nearby. He has his arm with various medical instruments sort of sticking out of it.
Medical instruments.
Yes, saws and scalpels and vices and that sort of thing.
Everything I need to unleash chaos. I will acquire it.
Okay. So you presumably hold it above your head as the Legend of Zelda item music plays, and you add it to your inventory, I guess?
That's absolutely correct,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which C button do you assign it to?
Yeah, exactly. Archer, that does not take your turn. I'll say that you're able to just sort of rip the business end of this thing off of the unconscious cyborg.
All right, everybody calm the fuck down and tell me why this hangover is so bad that I'm imagining you all as skeleton, blue, white-haired people.
Okay. So Archer stands there, dripping with green goo, holding a cyborg arm, looking around in his sort of enraged monotone.
Subject's motor controls seem to be compromised. Sedated? No one else is. Intoxicated? More likely.
What the hell are you talking about, wordsmith?
Well,
why do you look like Hellboy took Kurt Connor's lizard serum?
Oh boy, this is going to be awkward when you start meeting these characters, Archer. Stitch, the cyborg comes at you with a whirring saw at the end of its arm, and it is coming straight at you. You may attempt to dodge or block, or you can just take it.
Oh, why would I do that?
I mean, listen, I can't claim to know what goes on inside your little alien head.
I'll dodge.
Okay.
Because your endurance is insane, right?
Yes. Go ahead and roll me your agility. If you have acrobatics, that will apply. I'm sorry, if you have improved dodge, that applies.
And that's a paddling. That's a yellow.
Yeah, very good. You easily sort of leap onto the guy's head and then off before he can get his saw into you. Dante, your offensive movement has caught the attention of the other remaining cyborg, and he turns his attention to you, producing a long and nasty-looking hypodermic needle from his cyborg arm. And he's coming at you fast and furious. You may also attempt to dodge or block if you wish.
I will dodge.
Very good. Roll your agility, and you have improved dodge, so that will give you a +1 rank bonus.
Yellow.
Outstanding. So your instincts kick in, and you leap backward and sort of just jump off the wall and land far out of reach of his creepy robot arm. Mordin, it is your turn.
I'm going to pull myself out of my tank and drop down behind it, sort of like towards the wall. Is there space between the tank and the wall?
Yes, there is.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I take cover behind it, and then I lean out, and I think I'm going to blast one of them with a cryoblast from my Omni tool.
Very good. Let's see how you do.
Another yellow. Look at me.
Man. All right. And endurance check. No. Boy, it'd be nice if these really scary enemies could actually roll well. Your cryoblast takes this guy full in the back, and he's instantly just flash frozen, and then sort of tips over slowly. He is effectively out of the fight.
Cool.
And we are back to Stitch. What are you doing, Stitch?
Can you just briefly describe the layout of this room?
Sure. So there's a number of, as I mentioned, sort of medical tables, tables that might be used for autopsies or dissections with little trays of tools next to them. There are other sort of counter spaces around the edges of the room, some of which have computers and that sort of thing on them. And then there's the actual tubes that you guys escaped from. And then there is a single door leading out of this room.
various types of tools to
perform dissections.
disgusting experiments. Yeah. Okay. He's going to grab one of those plates full of those types of tools and just start like fling, 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 flinging them at that apple.
So you just start throwing these very sharp and dangerous objects. All right, cool. Roll me some agility.
Oh no! Maybe I don't.
Okay, all right. I'm going to say that Archer ends up having to dive for cover as these misplaced medical instruments fly in your direction.
Son of a bitch!
Prepare to be the slapstick brunt of all my jokes, Archer.
No problem.
Dante, it is your turn.
I'm gonna go for whoever else is in the room.
Yep, there's one dude left.
I'm going for him.
All right.
Green.
How are you attacking him?
Still pretty mad
Sure.
about the goo, so I'm actually gonna take the one cyborg's head that I punched in and use that and club the other cyborg.
Okay.
Make sure he gets some of the green goo.
So are you tearing off the head of the cyborg and using that as a weapon, or are you simply grabbing the cyborg by the head and using him as a weapon? It's a real Sophie's choice, I know.
I guess if the head falls off, that's its business, right?
Yeah, sure.
In true Archer fashion, either.
All right, cool. You walk up, just like wrap your fingers around this fallen guy's head and swing him at his still standing ally, who does not remain standing for long after that. The four of you are now the only conscious creatures in this room. All of you are covered in the quickly drying and evaporating remains of this green goo, and none of you know where you are or what is going on. What do you do?
Do I still have to make a dodge roll?
I mean, you can if you want.
I got yellow.
Great. You dodge. I don't know what you were dodging, but you dodge.
Did she threw fucking medical?
Oh yeah, that was all flavor. That was all. That was just me wanting to paint a mental picture, if you will. Ooh.
Well, whatever. I throw mine at him.
Okay, great. So.
Will everybody please stop throwing around medical supplies that we don't even know are sterilized?
Noted germaphobe Archer is the voice of reason.
Stitch's ears tuck back and he growls, baring his oddly sharp yet adorably blunt-looking teeth.
That's a yellow.
For throwing things at Stitch?
Yes.
Okay. So Stitch, the cyborg arm, just sort of like hits you lengthwise in the head.
Just like, bonk, bonk. Bonks off, clatters to the ground. Stitch kind of slowly looks at it, looks back up at Archer like, really?
All of us appear to have been prisoners here. Anyone have any idea of what happened, who we are, where we are? Two of you appear to be human. The other one, unknown species.
I am a certified badass and a secret agent. I don't know about the rest of you.
Stitch.
Secret agent? Working for what? Citadel? Human Alliance?
No, more like this. It's really not much of a spy agency.
Stitch begins leaving the room.
Okay.
Blue Sun.
So Stitch is leaving. Dante is uncharacteristically quiet as
I'm just like, dude, you guys are the worst. And I want to start leaving too. And then I'm going to look at Stitch and I'll be like,
We're the worst. None of us killed the Jews.
This blue thing, why didn't the pet store have one of them when I went last week? Damn.
Can we all just enjoy the mental image of Dante walking into a pet store? Because I'm certainly enjoying that. So Dante,
I think we should probably put this guy back in his tank, because otherwise he's going to start putting people into gas chambers.
Who is he saying that about?
I'm not entirely sure.
Dante.
So he's
Look at him. His hair is so white it looks like it should be bombing a church in Alabama.
just making friends everywhere you go.
Oh, God.
So
Here's the Archer way.
your theory is that he was a genetically engineered Aryan Superman?
Oh, God.
I don't know. I don't have any explanation for hatred, alien
You're the
thing.
one that has a clone of Hitler for your doctor.
Let's keep the out of character knowledge as far away from this as we can. So Mordin and Archer are being very good PCs and establishing some sort of connection. Stitch
Do I detect any alarms going off?
not on your Omni tool. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. It just might mean that if there are alarms going off, they're not being projected wirelessly.
They will be when I'm done with this place.
At this point in time, I'm rapidly clicking through computer screens on the computers, assuming they have power. Do they have power?
They do have power, yes.
Okay, cool.
It looks as though they're actually restarting.
Are they in a language that I recognize, or?
No, but you are able to read it.
Okay. What does that mean?
You know for a fact you've never seen these like characters before, but when you look at them, you know, it's just like when you read things. Like you don't consciously go through and identify the noises that they make. It's just that you understand what it says.
Interesting. What does it say? Restart. I imagine.
It looks like medical records. It looks as though they were taking all sorts of weird measurements and entries on 4 different subjects.
Are there any other tanks with people or remains of people in them?
No, there are 2 empty tanks that are not being used. So there are 6 in total in this room, but you 4 were the only ones apparently being experimented on. Looking through this, it looks like these guys were taking notes on your individual physiologies, on your weaponry. It looks like they were measuring various forces in what it refers to as your home planes. It looks like they were
incapable of alcohol poisoning. That explains something.
But it looks like they were measuring things like gravity and electromagnetism, and this is weird, magic. But you are actually finding a general alert.
What does it say? Just alert, alert? Or like...
Well,
that
yes.
would be like a general alert.
Well, yes, but it's not that general. It is
Okay.
partially specific.
So it's a not that general alert.
It is a semi-general
A specific alert.
It is a specific general alert. It was sent to this terminal from elsewhere. Basically, it warns of an incursion of what this weird language describes as heretics and rebels. This incursion seems to have been the source of the explosion that you felt and heard earlier that seemed to have been the cause of you waking up. The general tone of the alert is largely unconcerned. It mentions that a contingent of various anti-incursion forces have already engaged the enemy, and that a devouring Strauss is en route to their location.
Oh man, let's go there. That sounds fun. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Can we tell anything about the layout of the base from this computer, or does it not have that sort of information?
It doesn't have that sort of information on it.
How many doors are there out of the room?
1. Looking around,
Are there any guns in the room?
there are no guns in the room. This area looks like it was conquered by these creatures and has begun to be altered. Most of the surfaces in here are concrete, but many of them have been replaced by a strange dark metal, not in like regular rectangular sheets, but in these weird organic looking chunks.
Is the door to this room open?
It is
If
closed,
it's not, I open it.
but yes, Archer walks up and easily opens it.
What
Hey,
are we all wearing? Do I have
wait,
my
wait.
armor on, or?
You do have your armor on. All of you
Are
are
my-
wearing your normal clothing. So
Cool.
Heh.
Are my,
Turtle-
are my
turtlenecks.
energy shields
Do I
functional?
have my night vision goggles?
you do not have
Because
your night
that's
vision.
a bad thing.
You do not have your night vision goggles.
I
Are
want
my-
to go up
Oh, sorry.
to the weird growth, the metal,
Okay.
and I want to investigate it.
It's very strange because you can't really detect a seam. Like, you can find the spot where the metal ends and the concrete begins, but it's not like, you can see where the concrete was, like, removed and the metal replaced. It's almost like the concrete is becoming this metal.
Am I experiencing any like magical energy coming off of it?
Can you detect magical energy?
Yes.
Roll your psyche.
Holy shit. I got like off the charts. I got 103.
How did you get 103?
Wait, does that make sense?
No.
It's 1 to
No.
100.
That's physically impossible.
Did you roll a 3?
Double zeros and a 3.
So that's a
So
3.
that's only a
Okay,
3. Oh
that's
god.
not 3.
I was like, oh, so excited.
Liz, if you're going to cheat, you got to cheat believably.
I was like, wait a second.
Your magical senses are feeling a little groggy right now. You think you may still be under some lingering effects of whatever anesthetic they had you in. Assuming it flushes out of your system, you might be able to sniff around a little bit later.
What's outside the door?
Yeah, so Archer opens the door. You can see that there's a narrow hallway that extends a short distance to the left and a much longer distance to the right. The whole hallway is lit by this sort of sickening, flickering, fluorescent yellow light.
It's
And
not doing anything for my hangover.
nope. As I said, it stretches off further to the right than it does to the left.
I go right. I have to get out of here and figure out where I am and
Okay.
figure out if where I am has any decent prostitutes, or really even a non-decent one would be okay in my current condition.
Yeah, you have a very unique hierarchy of needs, and none of those are being met right now.
That's right.
Stacia scampers into the hall, and actually, what's down the left way?
Ah, Jesus.
You're just gonna do that all the time? To the left, there's like a pile of detritus, it looks like. Looking closely, it's made up of like signs and benches and what looks like pieces of trains or maybe like subway cars. But it's just sort of like piled up, like it was garbage, basically.
Oh, weird. What's down the right way? The way that Archer's heading.
All right. You guys head down a short distance down the hall. You can see that there's an area that sort of opens up. I would say that probably all of you can recognize this as looking like a subway station. There's sort of like a large platform with some stairs that head upward. There's a large sort of open area where presumably a subway train would be going. However, it looks like the track was removed from it. And you can just see that there's these large, it kind of looks like monstrous footprints that sort of go back and forth along this open tunnel.
Is it clearly pre-spaceflight Earth architecture?
It looks like it. It's kind of hard to tell just because there's nothing. Well, there's a little that's latently electronic in here. It's that same mixture of the concrete and the black metal. One thing that is interesting about this, though, is that on the platform where, if this was a subway station, commuters would be standing waiting for the train, there's several tables spread out. And on the tables, you recognize any weapons or equipment that you might have had on you when you were taken. So Dante, you can see your guns and your sword. Archer, you can see basically a duffel bag's worth of firearms. Mordin, you can see your pistol and your SMG. Basically, right now, there are several of those creatures that are picking over your various pieces of equipment. They're, examining them. They're performing various tests and analyses on them, some of which involves scanning them in a machine attached to a large computer screen. Dante, your sword is currently in the machine. It's visible through the transparent walls of the machine. There's 6 creatures in total in this room. 3 of them are the same variety of cyborg that you guys encountered when you first woke up. But 3 of them are these beings with kind of like a relatively small and spindly body and legs. But the upper arms and the head are swollen and stretched to this like hulking, grotesque degree. One huge hand of these creatures
Don't skip leg day, bro.
I know, exactly. One huge hand ends in these long
jabbing. An SNL skit right here.
One huge hand ends in these long jabbing fingers and a buzzsaw. The other hand has been replaced by a single long curved blade. There's a pair of small wings that stretch from their backs. The entirety of these creatures are covered in a carapace that sort of gives them the appearance of like biomechanical insects.
Okay, seriously, who spiked the absinthe?
So you guys are standing in this hallway that's lit by this irregular artificial lighting. It doesn't look like the creatures have spotted you. You think you have enough cover that they haven't noticed your approach. What do you do?
I walk up.
No. So yeah, I'm going to be talking to the other 2 as Archer's walking away.
Okay.
You can add Stitch to that.
Yeah, you can add Dante to that too.
I want to talk to somebody.
So Mordin is monologuing, basically.
I'm going to be staring off into space, thinking I'm talking to someone, saying like, they appear to be collectors, highly advanced, genetically engineered organisms, strains I haven't seen before, but then I just turn and see everybody else has walked away. So yeah.
Okay, great.
And Dante's just gonna look over his shoulder and be like, "Come on, nerd."
At Dante's loud, obnoxious shout, the creatures all look up to see you approaching. The cyborg creatures sort of fall back as the larger insectoid creatures move forward to engage you all directly. Mordin, you are still in the shadows.
What's going on? You guys actually don't have the training necessary to handle those guns and that equipment, so I'm just trying, safety first.
One of the big insects begins speaking to you. It's speaking in this weird guttural language that none of you have ever heard before. But again, you understand it. The meaning is 100% clear to you. And basically what it says is, return to yourselves. We are working to perfect you.
Well, I mean, I'd hardly say any perfection is needed, really. I mean, thanks for the offer, but you chose the wrong specimen.
You are imperfect and you are incomplete. You will be completed.
No, I mean, not totally incomplete. Maybe in some ways. I mean, relationship-wise. And
it moves forward. It's clearly going to, bodily move you back to where you came from.
I'm going to dodge around it and try to get to my guns.
All right, cool. Let's roll initiative. Mordin.
5.
Dante.
I can't remember how to do initiative.
D10, add the tens digit of your intuition.
Yeah, I usually write down like a little
11.
Intuition number.
11 for Dante. So, Archer, what'd you get?
Wait, I haven't proved initiative.
Oh, so then you get a +1 to your initiative rolls.
Okay, well, in that case, I got a 5.
5. And Stitch.
10.
Okay, Stitch, you're up first.
He bares his cute little teeth and says, sort of in his slow, straining to speak way, "Where is my family?"
One of the other insect creatures looks at you and says, "Irrelevant. Family is not necessary for completion."
Stitch is going to charge at him.
Okay, go for it.
That's a green.
Excellent. So you, again, launch yourself at this thing. Oh, you're charging, aren't you?
Yep.
You basically tear through this guy. His insectile carapace cracks and breaks beneath the force of your charge, and you end up on the other side, covered now in green goop and whatever was on the inside of this thing as it slumps over.
You not complete.
Dante.
Oh man, look at you making a big dramatic entrance and stealing my spotlight. And so I'm gonna charge in, like kick off the wall. Consider this me declining your invitation to go through my stuff, jerk.
You're saying all of this while in midair?
Yes.
Of
Just
course he
raining
is.
my fists.
Classic
right down.
comic book
I was
style.
just going to say, yeah.
It's a
That's
Japanese
some Bronze
name,
Age
right?
Chris Claremont shit right there.
Yeah. All right, so you're kicking at one of the giant insects, Dante.
Yeah.
Roll your fighting.
He swings like 100 times per hit.
Yellow.
Excellent.
Should her rankings be like red is A and then we have B and
Yeah.
C or something like that?
Well, no, red is S, presumably.
S?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit this guy again with your demon strength, with basically enough force to like knock a car over. But this guy just like sort of ends up taking a couple of steps back under the force of your blow. You definitely heard it, but it is very eager for more. And
Now things are getting interesting.
it sure is. So this guy is going to counterattack. It leaps at you and swings its large scythe blade at you, Dante. But you are easily able to avoid its clumsy swing. Stitch, same thing with you. The other one is going for you. And this guy is hitting you. So that is 30 damage to you, Stitch.
All right. I take a little.
Your body armor protects you partially. But yeah, you definitely feel that one.
Haha, furball.
Mordin, you are still concealed in the shadows.
Can I sneak up behind one of the big dudes?
You can certainly make the attempt to, yes. So roll
Yes,
agility.
that
bonus
is my
for stealth.
plan.
All right.
Oh, I got a 9.
That's not going to do it.
Okay, so he'll see me coming?
Yeah, you're sneaking up behind this guy as he's in the middle of fighting. Which one did you want to sneak up behind? The one fighting Stitch or the one fighting Dante?
Have they both been damaged?
No, only the one fighting Dante's been damaged.
Yeah, usually it seems like it's kind of a one-time hit when Stitch hits
Yes,
somebody. So.
most of the time, yes.
Yeah, I'll go up behind the one that Stitch is going for. I'm going to try to neural shock him.
Okay, you won't get your bonus because he saw you coming, but you can go ahead and roll.
Target must make an endurance check
Ah,
or
that's
be
right.
stunned, green, or incapacitated, white.
That's right, I have to roll this one. Yeah, this guy fails miserably. Complete or
Sweet.
not, his neural net is certainly susceptible to shocking. Just seizes up, and actually is incapacitated, because that's what happens when you totally fail against neural shock. So it's just out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Archer.
I'm dodging to get my guns.
Okay, cool. So you are running in. So you see
Yeah.
all of your guns are sort of scattered around this table. Which one do you want to go for?
Go with the assault rifle, I think.
Very good. You leap up and you grab yourself an AK. You may fire it this turn. I'm going to say you're at a penalty because you had to grab it.
That's fine.
But you may fire it if you wish.
Look, guys, I don't want you to think this is a race thing. Because I'd like to think that even in those short moments we knew each other when I was in your tank, you know me better than that. I'm not like this Aryan guy over here who's fighting. I'm not just going to make snap judgments about your people. But on the other hand,
Aryan. Ugh.
on the other hand, you
What's
have to
this guy
admit that
talking about?
given the fact that you're ugly and alien and talking about perfection, odds are pretty good that you're the villains of the piece. So
I can see we're all taking advantage of the talking is a free action rule.
Yup.
With Archer, very much so.
All right, so I don't know what the penalty is. Like, is it a rank or
Yeah, I'll say you're at -2 ranks.
-2 ranks?
Yes.
Okay.
But you have ranged combat, so that partially alleviates it. So
That's true.
you're
I
at,
do.
a,
So
you're at a net of -1 to your agility. And you're firing at the remaining insect dude, or do you want to start shooting at the cyborgs?
the remaining insect dude.
Okay, cool.
I think my witty dialogue made that clear. Thank you.
Okay.
I got a green.
Well, listen, you said a lot in the last minute or two, so.
I did. You're right.
All right, you are relieved to find that they did not remove the clip from this thing as you let loose a very satisfying spray. Takes
Phrasing.
Oh, I can't believe I missed that.
You got to be quicker on the draw with that one.
Oh, no, it's all right. I got backup for that shit.
All right. So this giant insect creature takes the bullets but remains standing. In the meantime, the cyborgs charge forward at Archer, seeing as he was going for the weapons that they've been pouring over. Their tools on their arms, you can see, are more tools that are used to take mechanical objects apart and put them back together. So you're seeing a lot of like drills and weird like screwdrivers and wrenches and, that sort of thing. So they're all coming at you with
A lot of childhood fears coming in.
a lot of childhood fears. Here we go.
No crocodiles, though.
Well,
No, that would be a whole different story.
The night is
brain
young.
aneurysms, always.
Although I'm starting to suspect the brain aneurysm thing, to be honest. This is some weird shit.
All right, you sort of shriek and get out of the way of the first one, but the other two manage to get in some grazing hits on you. You end up getting slashed by two of these cyborgs. Each one hits you for 10, so you end up taking 20 altogether. And we are back to the top with Stitch.
You said there are other guns on the table?
Yes.
I know they're not Stitch's guns.
No, they are not.
But that's never stopped him before.
It's very true.
What other characters' guns are on there?
There are Archer's guns, Dante's guns, and Mordin's guns.
Who has the fucking coolest gun left on that table?
Obviously me, I have sci-fi guns.
Yeah, I mean, he has the most...
I have a sniper
guns,
rifle.
But Archer has the biggest guns.
He would probably go for big.
Okay.
Dante has the
Don't
most
touch my ladies.
demonic guns.
Yeah. He's just looking
Don't touch my ladies.
So you're going for the sniper rifle, Stitch?
Actually, you know what? I probably recognize the sci-fi looking gun the best.
Yeah, you might.
So he's probably going to just grab Mordin's.
Do you want to grab the M6 Carnifex hand cannon or the M4 Shuriken SMG?
I forget which one's fucking bigger.
The hand cannon's bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You grab this pistol, and it sort of unfolds as you bring it up. So you're also at the same shooting penalty because you had to grab it. Who are you shooting it at?
Remind me the enemies left?
So there's one of the giant insect things, which has been damaged.
Yeah, screw him.
And there's 3 of the cyborgs, which are undamaged. All right, so you're going for the insect.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, though, what pet store stocks these?
Miss.
Okay, so
I'm just not getting lucky on
Stitch
my
begins
ability.
firing rounds, just wildly cackling, probably not even realizing that he's missing, and wouldn't care if he did. He's just enjoying
This can't
it.
possibly be good.
Dante, it is your turn.
Now that Stitch has made a little bit of a distraction, I want to run to the table and try to grab Rebellion, my sword.
So you run over, and as I mentioned, this thing is in a transparent case in this machine being analyzed. You want to just punch on through?
Hell yeah.
All right. So you punch through the case, wrap your fingers around its hilt, and draw it out triumphantly and excitedly. You may attack with it, but again, you'll be suffering the -2 penalty because you had to grab it. Who are you going for?
Who's damaged?
Only the large insect creature.
I'll go for that person.
Cool. So your fighting's incredible. You have -2 because you had to grab Rebellion, but you have close combat weapons, so you're only at a total of -1.
Okay. I got a 1.
Boy, that green goo you swallowed is just really not sitting well with you.
Yeah, I mean, expectations.
Yep.
so-
Well, the point is you have your sword back. Shouldn't that
Yeah.
be enough?
That's the bright side.
Yeah. So the large insect catches Rebellion on its scythe blade and then reaches out to claw you with its other hand, Dante. But you bring Rebellion back around and parry its claws away. There are sparks flying as the two of you begin trading blows back and forth. Mordin, it
I
is your
love this.
I'm going to sort of run from cover to cover, keeping my head down low as Stitch's shots are flying all over the place.
Good call.
And if possible, I'll make my way back to the table. I'll pull off my SMG.
Okay,
And then I think I'm going to take a shot at the one that's distracted by Dante right now.
cool. At the big guy.
Yeah.
All right, so that's agility -2, but you have ranged combat guns, so -1 only.
Green, barely.
Okay, you managed to kind of strafe this guy, and
So it does 15 damage on a green.
that's correct. Yep, your bullets hit home, or at least some of them do. You don't get quite the concentration that you were hoping for, but you managed to take a chunk out of this guy at least. He is still up, however. Archer.
So, let's see. The big guy is still up.
Yep, and the 3 cyborgs
Got-
are still up.
3 cyborgs still up. All right, so 2 of them just hit me, so that's upsetting.
It's suboptimal, one might say.
Yeah. I'm going to fire at them,
Okay.
and with my other hand, I'm going to pick up my grenade belt, if possible.
Nice. That is very possible. Cool. Fire your assault rifle.
Oof.
Are you using a virtual dice roller, Miles?
Yeah.
I'll do the Foley work. Whenever you have to roll.
Thank you. I got white.
You're sort of like more just keeping them at bay at this point, trying to keep them
God
from sticking
damn
you
it.
some more.
How much of a headache do I have to endure today?
Cyborgs.
But they keep coming at you. They got some unpleasant looking instruments swinging at you. 2 of them are looking like they're going to hit you, but you can try to dodge either.
Okay. I will dodge The deadlier one.
I mean, you can dodge both. Is maybe how I.
Oh, I can dodge both.
Yeah, you can dodge both.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I have improved dodge.
Yes. So that kicks up your agility by 1 rank when you roll.
All right. So number 1, Colin, if you please. Thank you, Colin.
Yeah.
That's
Did
a
you not come
green.
up and might not pick it up?
Okay.
So the first one was a green, and the second one
Number 2?
was a white.
Okay. So both of them hit you, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I needed yellows for that shit.
Okay. So that's another 20 damage to you. Stitch.
Stitch is gonna look down disappointedly at Mordin's gun and then throw it over his shoulder.
Okay.
Screw this. He seems to think. He's gonna running charge the closest guy to him, basically. Is one uninjured?
Yes. The cyborgs have not been injured yet.
Yeah, fresh meat.
Cool. Go for it.
Oh yeah. I just rolled an 87, I'm pretty sure.
Dang, Stitch.
I'm pretty sure.
Archer, as you're sort of like running backwards from these guys as they're swinging their blades at you, you just see a blue comet streak by, and suddenly one fewer of them is standing. Dante.
Going in with the sword again. The
Go
big
for
guy. No, wait. Green.
Okay. So your sword basically tears into and then through this guy, and with a quick twist of your wrist, you basically end up slicing him in half lengthwise. So this guy falls over, and then the rest of him also falls over. Dante, keep in mind also, you have your Devil Trick ability, so anytime you successfully attack, you have a 10% chance of getting a Demon Rune. I think you've successfully hit 4 times now, or have you only hit 3 times?
This is my 4th. Yeah,
Okay,
this
cool.
is my
So
4th.
why don't you go ahead and just roll 4 times and see if you get any Demon Runes.
No.
Okay, cool. So Mordin, it was your turn.
So who's left standing still?
There are 2 of the cyborgs.
I'm going to incinerate one of them.
All right, cool. Go for it.
Green does remarkable damage.
Very good. You nailed this cyborg with a burst of fire from your Omni Tool, and it goes down hard.
Sweet.
Phrasing. All right, Archer. Speaking of phrasing, it is Archer's turn.
How many targets remain?
1.
And is it the big guy?
No, it is one of the cyborgs who's been trying to perforate you.
Oh, well, in that case, I take out the pin of a grenade with my teeth, throw it at the dude, yell fire in the hole, and jump for cover.
Nice. Roll your agility with bonus for your thrown weapons.
Ah, yes. With the bonus that is yellow.
Outstanding. You just basically hit the guy right in the forehead and jump away, and it explodes halfway down, falling down his body. There is nothing there by the time the smoke clears.
Did you see that? That was awesome.
All right.
That was totally ninja.
So you guys have reclaimed all of your gear. You can see there's the subway tunnel that sort of, stretches off into the darkness. And then there's also the stairwell that presumably leads up to ground level. What do you do?
I'm going to walk over to Archer, who's been damaged, correct?
He has been damaged.
Cool. I'm going to say a little needle pops out of my gauntlet.
Okay.
Oh, whoa. Hold the fort there, William Chester Minor.
What?
Contributor to the Oxford English Dictionary? Jesus Christ, read a book.
Oh my gosh. All right.
You've been injured. You require medical attention.
Okay.
I am a trained medical doctor.
I have
Here.
no response to that.
I say, here, don't move. And I'm going to reach over, pull up his sleeve and bring the needle up to it.
Okay.
Well, all right. Well, this seems like a bad idea, but it does really hurt, and there's copious amounts of bleeding going on right now. So, okay.
I'm going to inject him with Metagel.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Yeah, so Archer...
You are an alien science fiction doctor, and you can't come up with a way to give shots that doesn't involve stabbing pain?
Archer, you see that the slashes you took at the hands of these cyborgs almost instantaneously knit back together.
Yeah.
And you are fully healed.
All right. Thumbs up to Lizard Hellboy. What can I say? Although I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest. We gotta hit a bar soon because I think this is also sobering me up.
Well, that's what I
say,
like.
it should be purging all toxins from your body.
Oh, that's not
That gets
good.
rid of all the fun.
You realize that could literally kill me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a scan with my Omni tool. I'm like, it appears another dose may be necessary.
Stitch's ears pop up and his cute eyes widen as he sees this Omni tool, and he scampers over to Mordin and like up him, and looks over at this Omni tool and then tries to take it.
So you just grabbing it, like pawing at the holographic projections around my arm.
Yes.
He is wreaking havoc with your apps right now, Mordin.
Yeah. I shut it off. How does Stitch feel about mysterious alien doctors? I'm curious.
Yeah, right.
I don't imagine. Yeah, that was about the response I was expecting.
Yeah, he has a mixed relationship with them, one might say.
You're not my
So, yeah.
dad.
So yeah,
What,
this has been fun. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna see what's up those stairs.
All right.
Cool.
So Archer and hopefully the rest of the party heads up the stairs out onto the surface.
I gotta say, dude, you know this guy over here. Obviously, there's the Hitler connection, which is a problem, but still pretty badass.
Who is this dude? I don't know what you're talking about, man. I just want to have a fun time.
So did
You're
he.
talking about like books and stuff? Ugh.
So I haven't played a lot of Devil May Cry, but how accurate is this?
I trust
It's
Liz's,
accurate.
I trust Liz's.
I assume Liz has played a great deal of
Yes.
Devil May Cry,
Great.
so
I kind of want to now, based on this performance.
I had no idea he was such a bro.
I know he's
Yeah,
a
me
little
either.
bit of a jackass. So
She's a bro, jackass, and a brat.
okay,
He's
so
ridiculously good looking.
God, is he though? That's all I know about it.
looking around, you can see that you've just emerged from subway steps onto the sidewalk of a nightmarish city. It's obvious that this used to be a relatively normal human city, but evidence of this alien invasion and corruption is rampant. The black organic metal spreads in patches across streets and buildings and abandoned vehicles. There's evidence that combat occurred in this area some time ago, but any hint of whatever resistance the natives put up against these creatures is quickly being covered over by the invaders' quote-unquote repairs.
is this a city that I have ever partied in?
Interestingly enough, it may be. You can't quite tell from your worm's eye view, but there's a sudden explosion some distance down the street that sort of catches all of your attention. You can see that the front of a nearby building has blown outward, and you see several of these alien creatures have gone flying through the air, trailing smoke. It looks like something inside this building is putting up an impressive fight.
What type of explosion was it? What kind of explosive device? Can I tell with my military knowledge?
Roll a reason check.
Sure.
Can I just say that Stitch is looking upon this destroyed city and is so sad that he is not the one
Yeah,
that did
absolutely.
this. What can I destroy if it's already all this?
Man, I never thought I'd say this, but maybe Mother was right about the drinking. Here I am, find myself wake up in some alien tank with a bunch of, I don't even know what they are, in some kind of weird-ass city, but you know what?
Yep, just
I
as
have
Valerie
guns.
predicted.
I got a yellow on my reason check, so.
Okay, so you have no idea what could have caused that sort of explosion. It seemed really directed and sort of enclosed. Like whatever caused it was super efficient and would require some sort of like really impressive explosive engineering.
Huh.
But yeah, as you guys are looking around, you kind of like catch a glimpse through other buildings around you, and you can see the skyline of the city that you're in. All of you, with the possible exception of Dante, recognize the silhouette of the Palace of Westminster, including, you know, the very noteworthy Big Ben silhouette sticking out of the out of one side of it. This palace is
Oh, shit.
being slowly worked over and picked clean by flying drones.
I promised myself I'd never go back to London. Or actually, maybe I was banned. I don't remember. It's all kind of a haze.
What do you do?
We need to find our way to some sort of spacecraft or something.
How do
What?
you go from walking in the streets of London to getting a spacecraft?
Well, we need a way off of this planet. It appears to be compromised by whatever sort of strange invading creatures they are.
What do you... No, this is off this planet. This is the only... I mean, obviously there are other planets. I mean, clearly you're from one of them, or else I'm still really drunk. But, I mean, what?
I mean, I gotta get to the bottom of this. You know what I mean?
I mean, I gotta get to the bottom of something, but I don't know about this situation.
Stitch from his perch on Mordin's shoulder.
Oh, he's still on me?
Yes. You never took him off.
I tried to give him a little brush off.
Nope. He just scampers to the other side of your shoulder. No, have to go to Hawaii.
I think we should listen to Rocket Raccoon over here.
What species are you? Your morphology is very strange. Some of it, were you genetically engineered?
Again with the thesaurus again.
Experiment 626. But Stitch now.
You guys can hear what sounds like a minigun being fired from inside that exploded building.
I'll start doing my little military run cover to cover and see if I can get a glimpse at what's going on in that building.
All right, Mordin, presumably with
This
Stitch still on
sounds-
his shoulder, runs off.
This sounds legitimately bad. I mean, granted, it's just London, but where would the World Cup be played?
Well, it's the World Cup. I imagine there's a few other options.
Does it hold a world's worth of alcohol? God, you guys are boring.
as you all talk about alcohol and lacrosse as you duck from cover to cover, you eventually position yourselves outside this building. Looking inside, you can see the first floor of the remains of a mall or a department store. It's this large open area lined with storefronts with 4 open floors of walkways around the walls above. So at first, all you can see is just flashes of light and shadow. It kind of takes a moment for your eyes to adjust. But it becomes clear that almost a dozen of these alien creatures have surrounded and are closing in on a small, eclectic-looking group of humans. But the humans are putting up a considerable fight. One of them is this towering man wearing a black leather jacket and pants, boots, and sunglasses. He's firing a minigun braced against his hip one-handed. As he slowly turns, directing this, arc of death at the alien creatures, you can see that half of his face looks like it has been torn away, and it reveals this metallic skull with glowing red eyes.
Yay.
The second human is clearly a child, but his age is kind of tough to nail down. Maybe like middle school aged. But in any event, he's wearing a brown jacket and pants over a green turtleneck. He has a satchel slung over his back, and he's wearing an aviator cap and goggles. He's just sort of standing there, his feet spread apart, simply like waving his hands around. But after a moment, you realize that he seems to be picking up and throwing objects and enemies telekinetically. The third human is standing back to back with this kid, and actually, now that you're looking at her, she might not be human at all. She has these very predominantly pointed ears. She's wearing a long pink and white dress, and she has waist-length blonde hair that's tied into a braid. She's also standing relatively still, waving her arms in very specific patterns, so she launches bolts of fire from her fingertips.
We clearly need to get over there. I run in that direction to help her out.
The final human in this quartet is wearing a black tank top and jeans, and her blonde hair is tied into a ponytail. She is moving incredibly quickly. She delivers a jump kick that sends one creature flying, and then she backflips past another, taking its head off with a strange-looking red axe as she does so.
That's what I call a lady.
Unfortunately, these fighters don't seem to notice that the aliens' strategy doesn't seem to be to take them down, but to hold them in place. As you can see, 2 more of those insect creatures are sneaking down toward them from the open area up above. What do you do?
Help them.
I take out the sniper rifle.
Okay.
I mean, that's a pretty big fucking target.
Yes, it is. Particularly when you're looking at it through a scope.
Yeah, and I am going to look at it through a scope for a turn.
All right, very good. So Archer is lining up a shot. Do the rest of you wish to do anything?
I'm jumping right in.
All right.
I'm going to shoot a cryoblast at one of the ones descending from the ceiling.
Cool. Stitch, do you have anything you would like to do?
He's gonna hold for now.
Okay, cool. Let's roll initiative. You guys have the surprise round though, so you get to act first regardless. Stitch?
9.
Okay. Mordin?
6.
Dante?
8.
And Archer?
4.
Okay. Stitch, you are on hold. And remain so, I take it.
Yeah.
Okay. Dante, you are leaping at these guys.
I'm gonna do my signature move with Rebellion, Aerial Rave.
Nice.
Start cutting them up.
You're basically like hovering in the air as you're
Yes.
swinging your sword repeatedly at this dude. Let's see how you do.
Green.
Excellent. You take a very respectable sized chunk out of this thing, and it turns to you and lets out this sort of growling hiss. So, Mordin, you are up next.
Cryoblast. So.
Cryoblast. Yep.
I got a 4.
Nope, not so much. I'm going to say you have to jerk to the side at the last second to avoid hitting Dante.
Yeah.
Archer, you have your shot lined up. You may fire with all the bonuses that come with it, which I believe with marksman is +4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
That's marksman, man.
So that kicks me up to unearth. Wow. Okay. Well, with that in mind, that is a yellow.
Outstanding. You've bullseyed it. Do you want to hit it anywhere in particular?
The eye.
In the eye.
Oh,
Are you shooting for the same one that Dante's fighting, or the other one?
Go for the other one.
Go for the other one. Oh boy. So your shot basically like carves out this thing's skull, and it just drops like a rock to the ground. Yeah, you've one-shotted this thing.
Nice.
Back to the top of Stitch. You are still on hold.
What's the enemy situation right now?
One of them is currently flying around engaged with Dante. That is the only one that is still left of the ones in the air. There are still some other creatures that are on the ground, but those 4 fighters that you were scoping out seem to be handling them.
Stitch is he is growing bored.
Okay.
He's gonna jump off of Mordin, grab, this is a dystopian, like post-apocalyptic wasteland, basically, right?
Sure.
Is there some kind of discarded car that can be easily
Oh yeah,
thrown?
there's a bunch of abandoned vehicles on the road.
He's picking up a car and chucking it. That's the one Dante's dealing with.
Very good.
Yeah, my eyes are going wide at this really strange organism that's able to do this.
Yes.
That's a green.
Excellent. So Dante, you see this shadow approaching you. You have to like kick off this insect you're fighting at the last second.
Oh shit!
As it barrels into it and knocks it out of the air.
Beep beep.
The creature and the car hit the ground very hard. Neither moves, as you might expect from the car, and also from something that got hit by an airborne car. The fighters that you guys noticed before seem to have finished off their enemies. The 4 of them sort of eye the 4 of you rather warily. After a moment, they seem to come to a silent conclusion. The large one with the metal skull showing takes a step forward and looks like he's about to speak when the blonde woman with the axe speaks instead and says, "Come with us if you want to live." There's a brief pause. And then she looks up at the towering man and says, "What, were you going to say something?" Thank you for listening to Extraordinary League. Our next League episode will be released on February 7th, but in the meantime, our Smash Fiction episode for next week will be Jareth the Goblin King versus Frank N. Furter. Extraordinary League is produced by Miles Schneiderman, with logo design by Colin Mulkerin.
Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod for our theme song, which is called Motherload. You can find his works at www.incompetech.com.
You can follow the Smash Fiction Podcast on Twitter at SmashFicPodcast and search for us on Facebook and Tumblr.
Subscribe on iTunes, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight.
And that's game.
That's awesome.
Oh man, I had a great line.
Do it.
I'm gonna kind of walk around the blonde woman. I'm gonna go up to the big guy and I'll be like, "Man, your face looks like my backed up toilet from yesterday, but you're wearing a leather coat, so I wanted to shake your hand."
Oh, God.